Aries, welcome to your bonus in-depth reading. That is Celtic Cross. I hope you're well. I hope you're fabulous. With Celtic Cross, as with any tarot reading, take what resonates, leave it does not, and do keep in mind these are general collective readings, not one-to-one private, which is to say they may not resonate at all. I know that's frustrating, but also normal. So if that happens, check your other placements. You will find yourself in there somewhere. And of course, if a second energy pops up on this board today, then you reverse those energies as you see fit and as it applies. Okay, let's get going. Show me Aries, please. Yeah. Show me Aries. Cinnamon's back on nap mode. She was in nap mode for most of Leo. Got up, drank water, ate some food, and now she's like, nap again. There's just some days like that where she's just like, it's like today's a nap day. Oh, okay. First card down, 5 of Wands, crossing the Wheel of Fortune, crowning you, Queen of Wands. Yeah. Past is the Emperor. Okay. 4 of Swords is exiting before you, Queen of Pentacles. Okay. I got 2 people here who are used to calling the shots. Oh my. I see you. All right. 10 of Wands is your strengths. The Hierophant is in your environment. Yeah, I was ready to say that you're going to have a tug of war like that. You and I had better have a strong bond. That's okay. Ace of Swords is in the hopes and fears, and the outcome is the Knight of Wands. All right, so it looks like we got locked into a battle of will with somebody somewhere, and both of you is stubborn. You're showing me your fire, they're showing me their fire too, so you could be connecting to a fire sign. It's just what's here, guys. And the Wheel of Fortune, unfortunately, this looks like it's an ongoing argument. It's an ongoing tug of war. It is an ongoing battle of wills. But eventually, it doesn't seem like it because it's in opposition right now. But this is leading up to something. There will be an outcome to this. The Wheel of Fortune's moving forward, and how it's landing is how it's going to land. But I can see that I got 2 people here who are used to more or less calling the shots, having their way. They don't settle. They're fiery. They're stubborn. Okay, I can't wait to see how that Wheel of Fortune lands. The 4 of Swords is on the exit. Yeah, you 2 did not take a very gentle approach here. This 4 of Swords, oh no, that wasn't even an option. Ooh, resting, reflecting, calming down. Oh, I said it. It's like, no, I'm not going to calm down. They ain't calming down. Why should I calm down? But in there is, again, reflection, insights, and healing. It's like the gentle approach to conflict resolution. And you and this person were like, fuck that. But I don't know if this was one key issue that you 2 constantly argue over, or this was just like a constant daily battle of wills and you 2 are just fighting and you don't even know why. But I can tell you this, it's like the gentle approach wasn't even an option. Okay. It doesn't seem like it was. But we'll see. Queen of Pentacles, before and future. Yes, let's keep in mind our sense of self-worth. Fighting is part of life. Okay? There's times when we must stand up for ourselves, what we believe in, etc. And we can confuse that, however, with having our way, which is not the same thing. Okay? This is one of those things where, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Because you typically can't have both. No. Not when you're in an argument with somebody. So, by all means, if you're standing up for yourself, make your points. But after that, anything else after that is just negative participation. That's not standing up for yourself. That's going to be a battle of wills at that point. And you can be like, well, tell them that. I'm telling the both of you. Because it's looking tit for tat for me. I mean, this is back and forth, honestly. So somebody here, and I believe it's you because I'm defaulting to you, it's your reading, Queen of Pentacles, needs to remember their self-worth. Okay? Practical solutions are within reach. that harken back to good investment, nurturing, and care. Okay? For the self and for whoever else is involved. Okay? Because you two seem to be pretty good about matching energies. So if someone could show more of that Queen of Pentacles, it might be returned. Response for response. All right. 10 of Wands in strengths. I believe you, but of course you can see where that would be a weakness too, right? Strengths have weaknesses, weaknesses have strengths, pros and cons, etc. I have no doubt you can carry a lot. I have no doubt. You can probably take a phenomenal amount of pressure, emotional pressure, energy pressure, physical pressure. I get that. I do. And I agree with you in many respects. It's a strength, but it's also going to eventually be a weakness if you carry something too much too long and you know you shouldn't. Okay. So as I say about the 10 of Wands, it needs to be ideally of your choosing. If you're going to have that level of stress and responsibility, it has to be worth it. Okay. Such as carrying a job or a career or a family. That's going to have 10 of Wands, but that needs to be the one of your choosing. Okay? It goes into a weakness if you are physically breaking down, if you are emotionally breaking down. You see what I'm saying? That's when it becomes a weakness. It's when you're carrying too much and you're doing it just to prove that you can. So again, I can see where the fire here gets in the way, the negative fire. Okay, the pride, the anger, the frustration, the battle of wills. Honey, point being said, if you want to fight, you will. Okay? But there's more to fire than that. There is. The Hierophant is in the environment. Oh, yeah. Commitment. I was ready to say this. There's got to be something that ties you two together. Holy shit. I mean, yeah, there's tensions here, outstanding, it seems, between these two people. It is commitment, though. It's in the environment. So that is undisputed commitment. Even if it's not like, say, marriage, okay, then we're talking spiritual, contractual stuff. I'm aligned to this, or I choose to be aligned to this, or I choose to call this mine. I choose to stand up for this. I believe in this. This is a core belief. This is my commitment. So regardless of the paper status, if you will, this is something that you say you believe in and that it's shared. It's a shared belief. Okay? Ace of Swords is in the hopes and fears, truth. Am I right or am I wrong? Well, that's a strong admission on your part. So hopes and fears is a guarantee of nothing. It just kind of says who we are on the inside. And on the inside, you hope that you are correct. Irrefutably correct, but what if you're wrong? What if there's something here I'm not saying? What if I'm not seeing their perspective correctly, or I'm not speaking it correctly, or acting? So again, it's two-pronged there, okay? Knight of Wands in the outcome. Oh, that's much better. For you, given your fiery disposition between yourself and this person, finally we got some of the softer fire there, the nicer fire. It says, I want to move forward positively with optimism and energy. It's not just passion. Like I said, fire is more than just dangerous heat, anger, passion. It also suggests interest, hope, particularly hope, okay? Vitality, good energy, good positivity, the willingness to move forward, okay? Just in that space of good. All right. So let's see what this is about. Oh my, dare I look? 5 of Wands. Okay, 2 of Pentacles. The Chariot, Queen of Pentacles, there it is. How to move forward. I have 2 people arguing about how to move forward. Someone believes they know the best path. The other person is hesitating. Okay. And how to proceed. And that has been, it seems, an ongoing struggle for some time. Yeah, but someone here, Queen of Pentacles, again, I'm going to go ahead and default to you because it says you're reading, is saying it's worth it to me. It is worth it to us. It is in our worthwhile. It is in our best interest to move forward in this particular direction, this particular path. And the other person's like, no, it's not. Why are you so certain about that? What makes you so sure? And so it's been back and forth like that for a while. And you two might have a history about this. When it comes to pathway stuff, coin, home, where you find home, location, 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 work, business. You two always getting a tiff about this. Particularly if you two are already associated with a fair amount of movement already. In other words, you have a history of moving or job changes, and it's just like somebody's always looking for the next best value in something, and the other person wants to stick tight to what we have and make that work. So that looks like in some way that's a shared history or sore point between you two. It's one you're both exceedingly familiar with. But I can tell you this, you both have in common best interest for the both of you. Home, work, finances, stuff like that. But somebody's like, my way is the best way. The other person's like, no. You may not be. Did that ever cross your mind? Okay. I don't know who's who, but somebody's arguing a for and the other person's arguing an against, and it looks like it's a very old argument, one that you're familiar with. The subject, the current subject, might change, but the energy exchange there is very familiar. Okay. See, if somebody wants to commit to action moving forward for the sake of security, prosperity, security. And the other person's like, you'll just say the same shit in like a year and then we'll have to move again. Something like that. Ooh, I just touched a nerve. I felt it. How do you know that? Because it's here. That's why. And if I touched a nerve, that means something there was worth touching. It sounds sexy, but it's not. It's the wrong kind of nerve. The Wheel of Fortune. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. I'm not making fun of you or lie to this. Not judgment. Time's up. There will be a decision soon. Okay. Ace of Cups. Moving forward. Two of Wands. Okay, Seven of Pentacles. All right. All right. Eventually that Wheel of Fortune's going to swing in the direction of steady. It looks like somebody is choosing a kind of case of steady neutrality in the name of love to make things peaceful, at least for now. Okay, for now, we'll stay to this pathway. For now, we will stick with the familiar. For now, I will try to make this grow. Okay, for now. For now. I'm doing this because I love you. Because I love you. You understand? Yeah, judgment. So we'll be arriving to this soon enough. The will of this argument as such is going to have to play out. There needs to be resolve. So it's not like somebody's a winner and somebody's a loser. No. It takes two people to decide upon this. And I'm seeing someone actively make the decision, Two of Wands, to stick to the known, Seven of Pentacles for love, Ace of Cups. Okay, if that's what makes this happy, or you know what? Okay. All right. We'll do this for now. For now. That's a present active decision. It might have a ... but it's a present active decision. It's like, okay, maybe we can pursue this next year or in 6 months or something like that. So I am seeing compromise. All right. Okay. We haven't completely gotten to that direction yet, but we're on the bleeding edge of it, of having a final call there. What looks like peace. All right. Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, Queen of Wands, Queen of Wands. Okay, the sun just tried to pop out. Queen of Wands crowning. The Empress, Judgment, yeah, and Nine of Cups. See, you want them to be happy. You do. You want them to be happy. Okay. You want them to be happy, or they want you to be happy. Somebody's just like, honestly, I just want them to be happy. Or they're saying that about you. It's like, they mean a lot to me, the Empress, Judgment, Nine of Cups. I know that. And I want their good opinion, and I know they mean well, and they're probably right. It's like, woo! That's a big conceding point. Well, they're probably right anyway, whatever. That's it. But again, it was a decision made in love. And really out of respect for someone else's point of view. Okay, our disposition. All right. And it's for all good reasons. It really is. It is for good reasons. There's no ill will in there. There's no manipulation. There's no, well, I'm making this decision. I'm going to be bitter and angry and resentful about it, even though I made the choice to agree, but whatever. No, it's not like that. It's not backhanded. It's somebody really wants the other person to be happy, okay? And also, frankly, for the argument to be over. The Emperor. The Emperor and Empress, it really is tit for tat energy, and I'm telling you, I just have that vibe. What feels like you might be acquiescing or giving in. You're not showing me giving in. You really do want them to be happy, but I strongly suspect you have the history here of calling the larger shots. And you gave him this one, okay? I'm not quite sure else how to explain that, but I feel like you gave him this one. And it's more than a white flag. I know a white flag when I see it. All right, the Emperor, it's not about that. It really wasn't about that. You see the goodness in the judgment. You do. You do. You say it's your Aries. I called it. Okay, 10 of Wands. It's the 4 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups. You're like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's like, I know what I signed up to. I know that's less than flattering, but it's true. The 10 of Wands is here for you twice. You are accustomed to taking on the responsibility. And this is something that if you had pressed your point, I don't think you would have had so much confidence in carrying the responsibility of that outcome, even if it did land in your favor. So again, I'm looking at Aries. I think you're used to calling the shots. And for this one, no. It's like, this is something I know will make them happy. So, and you hold on to this. You hold on to this connection. It means a lot to you. It's like, this is part of it. You associate this connection, this marriage, this something with responsibility. I'm not surprised. You showed me that a couple of times. And you're right. These kind of connections, marriages, they do represent a certain level of responsibility for which, yeah, there will be heaviness. It shouldn't be like that all day, every day. But you're also saying I assumed a certain level of responsibility when I committed myself to it, and it's not easy. You're right, it's not. It's not. And I think you typically, like I said, I think you tend to call a lot of the shots in terms of form and function and logistics and real world activity, but this one, you backed off. I said, sometimes you got to take a hit. Sometimes things don't go your way. Even if you really think they might be an advantage to this marriage, still, it's kind of like still, I want them to be happy. And still, mind you, you still see the goodness in their decision. It's not like they're wrong and you're backing a wrong decision. No, there's still good qualities in their decision, and you see that for yourself too. Okay, 4 swords, but yeah, look at that experience. You're like, you got to know when to take the hit, man. No, but that's the pride talking. Okay, 4 swords, but again, 10 of Wands. It's a certain weight. It's a certain level of responsibility. You got to know when to carry it, you know? Okay. 4 of Swords on the exit. I'm not going to hang out on that one too long. This is something neither one of you wanted to show too much patience over or quiet reflection on. I don't. Because that kind of tells me a decision needed to be made sooner rather than later. It's already been stretched out long enough as it is. So perhaps you two lost your patience on this one, or it's like it's time to wrap it up. Okay, because I am seeing the precipice of that decision. 7 of Swords, King of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. Yeah. You tried. I believe that's you. You tried to press your point. It's a good decision. Could be very practical in nature, but more than practical, it could be advantageous. I guess at some point, though, you kind of gave up the gentle approach. Okay. Yeah, I got you. It's a decision you're making now. Again, it might be something you can turn back to later. So like I said, I don't want to hang out there too long. I can kind of see where you stop pushing that investment. Okay. Or that direction. All right. Queen of Pentacles. The both of you, honestly, could do with remembering your worth. And that's the worth you see in each other. And understanding why you two are committed. And connected. Three of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and the Queen. Okay, cool. This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're showing me kind of compromise. It's like, this was the goal I had. I'm going to go ahead and let it go temporarily, and I did see a ... for you. However, I might be able to readdress it later. That's exactly the idea. That's exactly what that looks like, because it's worth it to you. You still recognize this goal, this job, this opportunity, this project, something as worthy of investment. Possibly something to do with the distribution of property. I don't know, but the realistic aspect keeps popping up, which means it's a real investment, 3D solid. So you're not really showing me the process of emotions with this person. It's more like you are working out something realistically with this person. Okay. Anyway, you're going to put this off for a goal fund of the day. Three of Wands, Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, and that's a decision that you say you own. It makes sense to you. That investment still makes sense to you, and you're not done with it. But you've also agreed with whomever this is. Now is not the time. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. You stopped pressing the point. You did. Just think about it. Just think about it. You know that Four of Swords. Just think about it. Just think about it. I have thought about it. Okay. Okay. But there it is. Right there. Because it's still worth your while. That's why. And I have to agree with you. Whatever this is worth your while. Just, we're going to readdress it at another time. I'm not telling you what to do. You're telling me what's up with you. But there you go. You'll make good on that action later. The thought, and there's also kind of a plan in there. It's a little loose, but it's still there. Okay. Okay. 10 of Wands and your strengths. Yes, I see that. All right. 10 of Wands and the strengths. Nine of Pentacles, the Moon, 10 of Cups. You knew from the beginning that you would have to shoulder the majority of the responsibility. Yeah. So you had no delusions about what you were taking on when you committed to this person. You knew you would have to bear the majority of the realistic 3D responsibility, but you also knew that you can't show that, or you can't showcase that. It's interesting. For peace, for inner circle peace, you kind of go out of your way to not point that out. You always give them credit, always. Even though you shoulder the vast majority of the actual physical responsibility here. And it stresses you out. You're saying, that's what I chose to take on. I connected to somebody who is not a solid contributor. I know that. I made that choice. In other words, I don't think they bring in I suppose what you could say monetary value. But you treat them as an equal regardless. You take in their input regardless. That's why I said I largely sense that more often than not you call the shots on the big decisions about your 3D activities, but not always. You kind of keep that hidden, like you don't point that out. You don't remind them, I actually earn the coin. I make the investments, I provide the resources. Maybe when I say this could be good for us, maybe you say yes more than you say no. Oh, nope, can't point that out. I'm not to say that they've never worked, it's just they don't now, or at least when you connected to them. You're saying that's a responsibility I knew from the beginning, and you still treat this person very much an equal. Yeah. You listen to what they had to say, and you just want them to be happy. Okay. It's interesting. That was very honest. Kind of look into your personal world there. Your own kind of quiet moon on the subject. Because to be clear, you're the emperor here, and you see them as your empress. You see them as your equal, even though they don't contribute like an equal, but you never put them down for it or never rub it in their face, ever. You're saying that's part of your responsibility. You knew what you were doing when you connected to them. Someone who's not a strong provider here, but you would never treat them differently. Okay? All right? No, then that's absolutely your partner is your partner. I agree. I'm sure that they do other things. They bring other things into the relationship. Clearly, you gave them the role as empress. Okay? Clearly. You gave them that role. You said the fulfillment of their happiness is important to you. So that means they give something, if not monetary value. Yes. Okay? The emperor always has a role, and the empress too. Otherwise, what's the point? Right? Okay, this is Six of Swords with Eight of Pentacles. Your strength, you knew what you were carrying. You'd have to shoulder the majority of the responsibility. But you keep quiet about that. Did they meet you? When did they meet you? As soon as they were retiring? Or as soon as they met you, they went into retirement? Because there's something here about, I gave up money, earning money a long time ago. But they used to work. I know it. It's like as soon as they met you, I don't want to work. Or I'm retiring. And you always felt the pressure of that since the beginning. Providership would come down to you. You knew that. But you don't hold it over them either. Okay, very unique. Very specific this is. Very specific. It's interesting. I don't want to keep going into it because I don't want to isolate my audience because this is very specific. But if it resonates, okay. And if you want to share, please feel free to share. But this one's very specific. Or they have an erratic work history or they had to give up work for one. It's like as soon as they met you, I'm not working. My working days are over. Is that exactly what happened? Okay. The Hierophant. I got, okay. But to your credit, to your full credit, you knew what you were getting into and you chose it anyway. 10 of Wands is there with you twice. You're saying it's my responsibility. I chose that. Okay. The Hierophant. 10 of Pentacles. You do believe in stability. Queen of Pentacles. And being a good provider, and that's always going to be a core belief for you. That is unshakable. That is unshakable faith and a core belief. Good for you. You're saying, this is what I believe in. I don't care how hard it gets. This is what I signed up for. I believe in stability. I believe in foundation. And if that has to be run on one person's back, then so be it. I will not allow myself to fail. I will build something in this life. I have to be of use. I have to be of service. I have to be of contribution. This is an unshakable core belief. So you're showing me you are married to your way of life. You are married to your core belief. You are married to your foundation. Stability will always be a key thing for the Aries I'm looking at. Okay? So that includes the opinion of this Empress who you're saying you co-create with, even if they don't bring the money in. Okay. So Queen, it's about the comfort. It's worth it to you. It's your comfort zone. And this is an active point. 8 of Wands. We're very active about this all day, every day, all day, every day, all day, every day. You literally do the best you can to show up and show up strongly for everything that you got going on. You have a wealth of activity in there in terms of network, resources, community, and you wouldn't have it any other way. You really wouldn't. It's just hard knowing that this all rides on you, but you do have a partner in spirit and you do have a partner in heart, okay? Even though it gets real tense sometimes and frustrating. And you're such a provider, honey. You're such a provider. So it must be hard then when it comes up to that conflict, when you see an opportunity to provide and they're like, no. It's hard to hear that, right? It's really hard to hear that no. They're not in that role. They don't have that point of view. Or they lost that point of view, that eye of the tiger thing. I got that. I get the eye of the tiger thing, honey. It's like, ooh, that could be let's take advantage of that. Let's take advantage. Let's connect to this. Let's connect to that. This is stupid. We're not going to do this anymore. And then you have that raw energy to acquire, to connect, to consume, to gather, to build. And that's when you have to have the eye of the tiger, right? You have to want to do that. You have to want those things for yourself. I'm not saying necessarily be rich. What I'm saying is have a whole way of life, okay? Where you have plans, you have goals, and you have aptitude for growth, okay? And then stabilizing that growth, okay? It's a whole thing. So I'm glad you have that in spades. So you have that for like 2 people. You have that for like 3 people. Wow. No wonder you're like, okay, I knew what I was getting into when I committed to them. I knew they wouldn't be working, and it really is on me. I choose that. However, your drive for stability and connectivity and growth is so high. Perhaps you didn't think anything of it at the time, except for when you two are in conflict, because they really don't have that point of view. They really don't. But you still treat them as an equal, and that's good. That's the way it should be. This is your partner in spirit and in emotion and heart, if nothing else. Okay. But you're like, okay, steady as she is then. I'll get back to that one later. Okay. Well, I'm glad to see that there's resolution here. What pisses me off is when I see conflict, and let's just sit here and be pissed at each other. There's nothing new. I can't stand those readings, and that's why those get redone. So you did not show me that. You did not. You showed me that there's tension, like the tectonic plates hitting each other. There's an earthquake, and then it's like, oh, okay. The tension's gone. Ace of Swords. What if I'm right? What if I'm wrong? Well, you'll find out later, because I see you putting that goal off for later. Or what if they're right? What if they're wrong? Yeah, there's that. Anyway, this was interesting. It was very, very interesting. You assume a lot of weight. You assume a lot of responsibility. You also assume a lot of pressure. But gosh, you are such a natural thriver, aren't you? You don't stay at a loss for long, I'll tell you that. You really don't. Four of Pentacles. Ace of Wands. Okay. Two of Swords. Are you right to hold back on this goal, or are you wrong? The immediate results suggest that you're correct. It's just I can see where you're afraid you're wrong. There's this idea of what if I don't make good on this goal now? What if I don't explore it now? Okay, that's what ifs. You will deal with that later. And if you really wanted to push this, the Aries I'm looking at, you could have done. You could have pulled rank on them at any time, and you didn't. Okay? So that suggests to me then you were listening. Part of you recognized that they were correct, that this, whatever this is, can wait. Otherwise, I don't think you would have agreed to it. You do want them to be happy, but there's even you recognize whatever that was I was looking at can wait. Okay? All right. There's something about let's be here now and ride things on neutral for a moment before we start incorporating anything new or different. Okay, I understand. So you'll get back to that. I'm not worried about it. I really don't want you to be either. You're not going to lose that goal. You're holding on to it. What to do with it, you will figure it out later. I promise. All right, Knight of Wands. That's such a tricky bit. Because I'm like you, I'm a provider. I have next to no earth in my chart except Capricorn in my midheaven. But I'm like you, I'm a provider. So when I make those decisions, I'm not met with opposition, though. To be honest, I'm not met. I don't really want to do it. I don't have the heart for that. Okay. I don't, but the thing is that you love this person and you respect them and you want them to have say and an opinion. And that's the way it should be. And you're right, it is a we thing. Seven of Swords, there's that Seven of Swords again. Six of Pentacles and the Hermit. Yeah, see, okay, I don't want you to worry about that. You will literally, I'm looking at your future, you will literally get back to that prospect later. That thing you're kind of like, I guess I should give up on the topic. I just know it's to do with coin. It's, that's like, I guess I'll just give up on that topic and stop trying to approach it peacefully and maybe just switch to arguing. But no, we'll get back to that. You will get back to it later. Okay, and to be honest with you, it doesn't look like it's too far from now. I thought it might be, okay, I'll get back to this in 3 months, 6 months. You're like, no, no, sooner. Okay. Yeah, you'll get back to that potential priority or new balance or interesting project or something later. But you're just like, no, okay, for now. I'll give it up for now. But you're going to get back to it. I promise it. I think you're going to get back to it quietly. That way you don't have any interference. It's kind of like I'd rather start it and get permission for it later than be told no again. That's kind of where that is. I don't blame you. It's... There's just something about that thing you're putting off that you know inherently is going to work. And I'm looking at you. I agree with you. I trust me. I get it. I get your personality. I think you're right, but you have agreed to put off your correctness for their sense of appeasement. So I'm just saying, I think you're going to get back to whatever that was sooner rather than later. That's all. Some of you, they were told to put it off because now's not a good time. We're about to travel, or we're going to go on extensive leave or something like that. It just might have been bad timing. But this is very interesting. I have to say, this is very interesting. Celtic Cross Snake 28. Your intuition and healing powers will guide you to a better path. Just be careful. Okay. I know snake is always interpreted as negative. In this deck, it isn't. Does it come with warnings? Yes. But the idea is also intuition and healing and your ability to transform as you go. Just be cautious and assume a certain level of responsibility and risk. Clearly, you're familiar with that. Number 28. And then the owl, 23. There are spiritual messages and great wisdom to be found during this period of transition. Okay? Yeah, listen to yourself. You're smart. You can adapt. Number 9, express yourself creatively. Start something new. It is, isn't it? What creative pursuit do you feel drawn to? They don't see the immediate benefit of it, do they? Because it just speaks to you personally now. But it actually might have benefit in future. Like I said, I don't disagree with you. And I don't disagree with you if you kind of quietly take some energy and start the thing and ask permission later. Express yourself creatively, start something new. I think that's exactly what you're trying to do. It's just apparently now is not the time. Okay. Other than that, I say the two of you have a relationship that very much makes sense to you two. You honor each other as co-creators. You are doing your best to make them happy, and they see it as something as inconvenient or not to be taken seriously at this time. I would like to have seen that give a little bit more back to you. Okay. A little more respect as to why you'd like to pursue this now. But other than that, you two seem to be very established partners with each other. B, E, and N. We have the medallion of Capricorn. Okay, speaking of Capricorn, you might have some very strong Cap in your chart. That might explain a couple things. Could be connected to, or their season might be important to you. Okay, Aries, honey, this was interesting. I hope it helped. It was so specific, and my shortest one, honestly. I feel kind of bad about that. I mean, in that it was... Even though it looks complex, it was actually remarkably straightforward. I feel like I'm capturing you over the next couple of months, but also the pre-existing tensions that have been there. So just for funsies, we'll do a couple. I know you're the guy. You're the main guy, and you're afraid time's going to get away from you. I see that. Even if you're not the masculine, that's not the point. The energy that we'd associate with the masculine health is, well, initiative, isn't it? Initiative, influence, strong energy, being rooted, grounded, driver, a driving force, and you feel like time's going to get away from you on this thing. And 32, despair. It bums you out. It really bums you out. There's something here about, I don't want to miss this. Courtship, but the relationship, courthouse, something here, but it's not a good time. Or excuse me, contractually speaking, is not a good time because I see the relationship is interfering on a technical fault value, such as courthouse. So for technical reasons, having to do the relationship, you feel bummed out. It's kind of like, well, if it weren't for that, or something like that. The 27 long letter, detailed letter. I am actually seeing this not as a form of communication between you two, but your thoughts. Do you keep a journal? You should. I say should. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just saying for those of you who already do, continue to do so. It's great practice. In there, you see lots of reflections in yourself and how you've changed or grown over the years. I want you to keep on with that. 27, 32, 4, and 23. Okay. All right. There we go. I don't feel so bad now as I got you to the 40-minute mark. Anyway, Aries, honey, I do hope this helped you. I guess you connect to someone who's just like you. You're stubborn in your way, they're stubborn in their way, but your two stubborns work, I suppose. Okay, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well. I know. I almost forgot. I even said be well and everything, and that's my sign off. Okay, let's do some numbers. Why is everybody getting 15? All the fire signs so far have gotten 15. 15 might be a number of importance. Also 23, that's here twice. I just noticed that. We also have the number 4. Of course, I would associate that with you, your power month being April, although you technically start in late March. But, and there's 3. 3, 4, and 15. So next Aries season for some of you might be very important, or this last Aries season might have been very important. Number 15. Okay? All right. Now for reals. We're done. Okay? I hope this helped. Take care. Be well.